Can't believe I have to make another video, but this is a lifestyle at this point. Having to deal with career criminals who claim to be activists and then literally follow you around and engage in all kinds of theft, vandalism, harassment, and physical harm towards you, if not your family and your friends. But they have also contacted your family and your friends because they're an activist group who has a problem with the fact that you don't want to be their special friend. They think you owe them something. So I actually just woke up. I had a very long, busy day for work and at work yesterday. Didn't make it back to this building until after 9:30 p.m., had left before 9 a.m., and was out for 12 and a half hours. During that time, I was carrying a number of items in a bag that I have placed next to me right now on this bed, because as I have been going through this bag and pulling out the items that I carried in that bag yesterday, I'm realizing somebody managed to access this bag while I was either out yesterday or after I came back to this building and put it over by the door in the evening. And they tampered with, stole, and contaminated multiple items that I had been carrying around in this bag for 12 hours yesterday. When I left yesterday morning at approximately 8:55 a.m., all of the items in this bag, which is a large cloth canvas bag that a friend of mine just gave me 4 days ago, so it's brand new. It's a gift. All the items were secured. Nothing was vandalized, nothing was stolen, nothing was tampered with, and there was nothing in this bag that wasn't mine. Well, 10 minutes ago, as I was going through the contents of this bag, I realized that not only were all of my items in here somehow messed with or tampered with, but somebody had placed items in it that are not mine at all. And even as I'm mentioning this in this video in real time, as I am narrating my experience, somebody directly below in Unit 76 has started violently, repeatedly slamming and hitting things against the wall and floor directly below my bed in some sort of prison code that they have been engaging in for several years now, to let me know that they have some kind of knowledge of what I happen to be saying, doing, or talking about in the privacy of my living space. This is presumably the same career criminal, psychopath, and sex offender named Jasmine Irizarry, who the property manager of this building complex, a crooked Russian slumlord, has been bragging about for years, is a talented hacker who, as he put it, can get into anything, meaning physically get into anything. He's like, she can get into anything. She can take care of any problem. Then, on another occasion, he said she can hack into anything. So we're dealing with a career criminal here who has been in the sponsorship directly of the property manager, Oleg Alexeyev, a sociopath himself, with anybody who has knowledge of psychological diagnosis and who has discernment in terms of dealing with people who seem a bit off and whose behavior is anomalous. Mr. Alexeyev immediately comes off as a sociopath. He's also a narcissist. You can just tell he makes up these blowhard comments. He brags about things that he shouldn't be bragging about, like, oh, Jasmine Irizarry is so talented, she can get into anything. Like, why would any property manager tell that to a tenant who is coming to them for assistance and support with respect to a criminal who keeps getting into their living space and stealing their stuff, with a criminal who keeps hacking into their devices and interfering and remotely disabling with the functioning of these electronic devices? Why would anybody brag about the criminal abilities of another tenant to a tenant who is coming to them for help? But that is what Mr. Alexeyev does, because he is a narcissist and also pretty visibly a sociopath. Sociopaths and psychopaths are slightly different. Sociopaths are simply pathological narcissists who basically lie their way through society and put up a false front in terms of being super successful and this and that. And the other, when they're really just not, when they're really just criminals who do dirty things under the table, they're very manipulative. Psychopaths kill people. Okay, so that's the difference. I don't know if Mr. Alexeyev has actually ever killed somebody. I have no idea, but he does come off as a pathological narcissist who brags about the crimes and misdeeds of his tenants when you go to him for help regarding those tenants. So again, multiple items right now that I had stored in this bag and was carrying around with me pretty much the entire day yesterday have been very visibly tampered with, and I'm just finding this out right now. Somebody had to physically access this bottle of rubbing alcohol that was perfectly fine and safe to use when I left this building yesterday morning, which was Monday, November 10th, 2025, at approximately 8:55 a.m. Notice that I've taped up the opening to prevent this kind of contamination that is right now very evident from this bottle of rubbing alcohol. I just tried to spray my hands with it, and it does not smell like rubbing alcohol at all. It smells like, I don't even know what it smells like vomit, like feet. And no, it's not my feet. My feet are clean. I showered yesterday and I'm wearing socks, and the socks don't smell like anything. Obviously, this is the rubbing alcohol. This is an intensely foul stench that covered my hands as soon as I sprayed this, what I thought was rubbing alcohol, onto my hands maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. The contents of this bottle are no longer rubbing alcohol, and my eyes are not good enough to see if there's anything like floating around in there. But this has happened so many times to the bottles of rubbing alcohol that I normally keep over by my stove that I started taping up the openings so that they couldn't be easily opened. However, if you carry syringes of filth around with you, as these career criminals seem to do, you can poke the syringe into the nozzle without opening the bottle and pump in filth and nastiness. This has been going on since 2023. Back in 2023, I found out the hard way that somebody was managing to get into this apartment, and I would literally notice floating chunks of filth floating around in my bottles of rubbing alcohol when I tried to use them. There would be the same intense stench that smells like vomit and like feet coming out of the rubbing alcohol. And this is happening now. This was not happening yesterday morning. Once again, when I put this bottle of rubbing alcohol into this bag and left for work. I went straight to work yesterday morning. I arrived at work at approximately 9:40 a.m. All of the items in this bag were secure, but now this bottle of rubbing alcohol is clearly not rubbing alcohol. It has been replaced or injected with some type of foul contaminated fluid that smells like a combination of vomit and filthy feet. That is not rubbing alcohol at all. We all know what rubbing alcohol smells like. You immediately smell it. It is very distinctive, and this does not smell like rubbing alcohol at all. The other item that was put into my bag that is not mine are these cards. Oh, Jesus Christ. So the audio on this phone is terrible, and it obviously doesn't pick up on a lot of stuff that I'm hearing and seeing around me. But right now, the Psycho directly below 76 just made a noise, and I was literally just electronically assaulted by the same EMF emitting laser device that they have been using on me for years in this living space and less frequently outside of this building. And just as I pulled out these cards that are not mine, that I did not purchase, but that suddenly were placed in my bag sometime between yesterday evening and now, that person directly below 76 just evidenced once again the fact that they have some kind of knowledge of or involvement in what goes on in this living space, what I happen to say or do when I'm in the privacy of this living space. And obviously the door is closed, the window is closed, and there should be absolutely no way in hell that any person, even if they're trying to listen to what I'm saying right now, should have any knowledge of a moment by moment verbal output of what I am saying. Right? If somebody's standing by the door, maybe they can hear voices, they can hear some noise, but the words that I'm saying on a moment by moment basis in real time as I'm saying it should not be known about by anyone in this vicinity unless they are using, as they keep claiming, surveillance experts like Jasmine Irizarry to eavesdrop and perv and creep on what I do in the privacy of this living space. These are cards that suddenly appeared in my bag at some point between the time that I left work yesterday, which was at approximately 5:10 p.m., and the time that I came home to this building at 9:30 p.m. At some point during that time, somebody placed a bunch of cards in my bag that I have never seen before. These just suddenly, like, what is this? I don't even know what this is. What in the world? I can't even see what that is, but it's apparently a sealed greeting card. There's another sealed greeting card. What does this say? I mean, season greetings. I'm not even shopping for greeting cards right now, so I have no idea where these came from. I was at Target in Porter Square yesterday for approximately an hour. I was in the greeting cards section, but I did not buy any greeting cards, and I did not grab any greeting cards. And the greeting cards I was looking for are belated birthday cards for my sister. So anything that is not related to my sister's 29th birthday, I did not pick out, put in here, or even handle in any way, shape, or form. I don't even know what this is. This looks like a sticker. Yeah, and the person below is now electronically assaulting me with a directed energy device that she claims that she's getting paid $300,000 to use to harass me. Jasmine Irizarry has made multiple written comments on my social media pages over the last year and a half, admitting that she is using a directed energy device that her friend Christopher Thomas referred to as a directed energy weapon. Clearly, they think that I'm not referring to it in badass enough terms to satisfy their giant harassment, bullying egos. And they correct me when I refer to it as a directed energy device. Okay, you idiots, it's a device. It's not a missile system, as you apparently wish it was, okay? It's a device. It is a man-portable directed energy device. Man-portable meaning it is small and portable. You can put it in your purse probably, right? Like a taser. You can modify a taser. You can modify a stun gun. Irizarry claims that she's an IT expert. She also claims that she's a structural engineer who gets paid to take care of problems. Take care of problems is the exact wording that Mr. Aleseyev, her apparent friend and sponsor, the crooked criminal Russian slumlord, bragged that she does. He said she can take care of any problem. The problem with career criminals, sociopaths, and psychopaths using the term take care of problems, the problem with them using that term is that when they use it, they mean that the problem is made to go away, not resolved in a constructive fashion. When you make problems go away, you take unlawful, illegal, criminal action to eliminate it. There's a huge difference between eliminating a problem and constructively resolving it. So these greeting cards are not mine. I'm going to take this to the police. Other items in this bag were also tampered with.